Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Bryony and I'm one half of Indecisive Readers. Today I'm here to give you 5 of my 5-star predictions. I feel like I have a bit of a weird relationship with 5 stars and 4 stars and just general star ratings. They're very much a gut instinct. Some books that I rate 5 stars I probably actually like less than books I rate 4 stars, and books that have some problems I may rate, I don't know. I couldn't tell you the logic behind them, but ratings are given. This video contains 5 of the books I'm excited to read. There's one arc and the rest are kind of books that are already out and books I'm just excited for. 3 of them are on my 21 books I want to read in 2021. So yeah, hopefully they're going to be good. They're in a range of genres and I'm very excited to tell you what they are. So the first one I have on my list is the arc. I'm hoping to read it next month, and that is Malice by Heather Walter. I'm just going to read you what it's about because I'm really bad at summaries. Once upon a time there was a wicked fairy who, in an act of vengeance, cursed a line of princesses to die. A curse that could only be broken by true love's kiss. You've heard this before, haven't you? The handsome prince, the happily ever after. Utter nonsense. Let me tell you, no one in Bright actually cares about what happens to its princesses, not the way they care about their jewels and elaborate parties and charm-granting elixirs. I thought I didn't care either, until I met her. Princess Aurora, the last heir to Briar's throne. Kind, gracious, the future queen her realm needs. One who isn't bothered that I am Alice, the dark grace, bored and feared for the mysterious dark magic that runs in my veins. Humiliated and shamed by the same nobles who pay me to bottle hexes and then brand me a monster. Aurora says I should be proud of my gifts, that she cares for me, even though it was a power like mine that was responsible for her curse. But with less than a year until that curse will kill her, any future I might see with Aurora is swiftly disintegrating, and she can't stand to kiss yet another insipid prince. I want to help her. If my power began her curse, perhaps it's what can lift it. Perhaps together we could forge a new world. Nonsense again. Because we know how this story ends, don't we? Aurora is the beautiful princess and I am the villain. I think this sounds fab. It's queer fairy tales, which are both things I really enjoy reading about. I love reading fairy tale retellings and I love reading queer stories, and so combined it's going to be really interesting. I think it's also going to be really interesting to focus on a villain rather than a hero and see how those lines overlap if they do. The next book on my list is one I am very aware that I'm very biased about, but that is Fyre by Angie. This is the final book in the Septimus Heap series, which was my favourite childhood series and one I have revisited in the last year or so and have absolutely adored being back in the world of. And so, because I've been delaying reading the final one so much, I do still hope it's going to be fabulous, and I will be very sad if it's not. However, because it's the 7th one, I can't really tell you what it's about, so I will tell you what the first one is about. The 7th son of the 7th son, aptly named Septimus Heap, is stolen the night he is born by a midwife who pronounces him dead. That same night, the baby's father, Silas Heap, comes across a bundle in the snow containing a newborn girl with violet eyes. The Heaps take this helpless newborn into their home, name her Jenna, and raise her as their own. But who is this mysterious baby girl, and what really happened to their beloved son, Septimus? And then it goes on, and I love it so much. And I've been delaying reading this final book for so long. I really don't want the series to end, and so honestly I'll be very disappointed if it's not a 5-star. But I'm still delaying it a bit because all the previous books have had illustrations with the book and the copy I have of Fyre doesn't, and so I want to get a copy with the illustrations just so I can fully enjoy the experience the final time I read it, or the first time I read it, but the first time I read the final book, and it makes me kind of sad to think about. The next book I have on this list is Queen of Coin and Whispers by Helen Corcoran. This is a kind of low fantasy political lesbian novel, which sounds great. I have heard many good things about it and have heard comparisons to Priory. I know it's not very like Priory, but it has some similar elements, and so because I love Priory so much, I'm hoping I'm going to love this. When teenage Queen Leah inherits her corrupt uncle's bankrupt kingdom, she brings a new spy master into the fold, Zarnia, who takes the job to avenge her murdered father. Faced with dangerous plots and hidden enemies, can Leah and Zania learn to rely on each other as they discover that all is not fair in love and treason. In a world where the throne means both power and duty, they must decide what to sacrifice for their country and for each other. I'm really interested in this, not only because of the kind of queer, like lesbian side of the relationship, but because one of them is demisexual, and I just want to read more about that. And also, I'm realising that I used to love princess stories. Like, the Septimus Heap series is the reason why I used to love princess stories. But I feel like I haven't read many in a while, and so I'm quite looking forward to kind of delving back into that world. Kind of that, not quite so much in this story, but that kind of being born to a throne that you don't know you're born to, or being born for a duty and exploring that. I love that kind of story. It's wonderful. The next book on my list is Diary of a Confused Feminist by Kate Weston. This was on my list of anticipated releases for last year because it sounds very Hollyborn, and I absolutely adore Hollyborn's books and her feminist books. So I'm hoping this kind of lives up to that kind of funny feminist world. I feel like it's like the modern, what's it called, Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging. I didn't like that one, but you know, like theoretically that's what it's like. Kate wants to do good feminism, although she's not always sure what that means. She also wants to be a writer, get together with Hot Josh. Is this a feminist ambition? Win at her coursework and not make a total embarrassment of herself at all time. But the path to true feminism is filled with mortifying incidents, and when everything at school starts to get a bit too much, Kat knows she's lost her way, and the only way forward is to ask for help. So I think it's going to be quite an easy read, quite a quick read, and hopefully fun in the kind of young adult sense of being an interesting introduction to feminism. The final book on my list is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This is one of those books I've wanted to read for ages. I've heard nothing but good things about, and so I really should read. I'm interested to read it because of the format it's written in, and also because I haven't read many books in this genre. The case is closed. 5 years ago, schoolgirl Andy Bell was murdered by Sal Singh. The police know he did it. Everyone in town knows he did it. But having grown up in the same small town that was consumed by the murder, Pippa, Fitz and Moby isn't so sure. When she chooses the case as the topic for her final year project, she starts to uncover secrets that someone in town desperately wants to stay hidden. And if the real killer is still out there, how far will they go to keep Pip from the truth? So those are 5 books I'm really excited to read. Let me know if you've read them. Don't tell me if they're bad, because then I'll be sad, because I will read them anyway. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below some of your 5-star predictions, and I will see you in another video. Bye!